Hi everyone, welcome back to Window Chats with Robyn, an Instagram live which is slowly turning into an option on YouTube. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. I'm trying to promote myself better. It is a struggle. Or you can just watch it afterwards if you're not willing to watch it live. That's totally fine. We have my friend Nav, who I met at McMaster Physiotherapy. So we're going to invite her in. I'm excited. I say that as I'm trying to click on her face. Da 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 da. Now the question is, Nav, do you have the updated version? Oh, thank you for sending that. Let's do that. And we talk in the meantime till she comes on. Hoping it works. Cross your fingers. Da, 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 da. This is going to be, oh, thank you. Instagram Live, the musical.
Yes, I do have the updated version. I'm so not tech savvy, so I'm glad you told me to do that.
No, thanks for listening. Oh my God. I'm just looking if anyone from our class pops on, so I'm just gonna wave, shout out. Okay. Oh my God, it's a reunion with only us two, and then we see names.
This is officially a reunion, guys.
Yeah, this is happening.
This is the reunion we were supposed to have a grand band every year.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, that didn't work out. Well, things happen. People got married. There's a lot of babies from our graduating class. There's a lot of couples from our class. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, totally.
Are we going to gossip about our class now? I didn't expect that to turn out that way.
Yes.
Let's just, guys, we're going to dish, okay? Actually, this is not, I should do a little disclaimer. This is not a McMaster Physiotherapy sanctioned event. Anything we say is solely our opinions, and any advice that we give is just two friends talking, not physiotherapist advice per se. Okay,
yeah, no.
Legal disclaimer, done. As you were.
Robyn, how did you start this? I know you asked me a few weeks ago, and I was just I don't know what this is. I'm not doing it.
I know, and then you reached out. You're like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. I'm like, I thought you really didn't want to do it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Because I had no idea what it was.
It's okay. I had no idea what I was starting. I honestly reached out to people. I did a pitch. I'm terrible at pitching my ideas. And the people that said yes, I am eternally grateful for, because I don't even know how I described it. I'm like, I'm going to be sitting by my window. I'm going to talk. It'll be super random. I have no real agenda. I had some pre-made questions in case the conversation got stale. And then it just turned into...
I'm sitting by the window.
Yes!
I had no idea what this is. So I was like, I better sit by a window.
All right. This is sponsored by Every Single Window Everywhere. Buy a window.
You basically messaged me and you're like, hey, I'm doing these window chats. Wanna join? And I was just like, no. Absolutely not.
No, God, Robyn, why are you asking me this question?
And then now that I have seen what you're doing, I was like, yeah, this sounds cool. And you're investing so much time and energy into it. Some of these go on for
they go on for a while. I love your message, Robyn. I can't do more than an hour. And I'm like, I appreciate that, because I don't mean for it to go on that long. Honestly, I pitched it as 20 to 30 minutes, but then I find everyone so fascinating. And then the conversation gets taken away, and I go on a journey with them. And then I realize, oh my God, it's been a long time.
So how did this start? How did it, how did you come up with the concept, and why did you want to do it? I just
am I being interviewed right now?
Yeah.
I'm hosting, and okay.
It's a chat.
Honestly, it's a great question, because I think I keep creating random projects and I never know which one will work out or not, or which one I'll stick with. But this one was I wanted to talk to people and catch up. And I also wanted to do projects with other people, but I found it was such a commitment, and I'd have to wait for them to send me footage, or the time is right. But this is live. So I just need an hour of your day, sometimes 2 hours, window chats with Nav. Thanks, Mike. That's funny. But it's also just a cool way to connect with people. And I find with Instagram is all these random people that we haven't seen in a while might show up, and we'll see their face, like Anik. Hi, Anik. We did school together. I think I saw Danny too, and Mike. Oh my God. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We have no idea what we're talking about. We're just, I'm being interviewed in this twist. But no, I just find it so interesting. There's such a need for me to connect right now, right? We haven't seen each other in, more than a year pre-COVID, but it's just such a such a lack in my life of chatting with people. So this kind of
Yeah.
forces me to be social at least 3 times a week. I'm like, I have to talk to at least 3 people. So,
That's amazing. So you're
oh
basically
my God.
yeah, you're creating this community, and I feel like, yeah, like I haven't seen you even pre-COVID. Like I hadn't seen you in like a year, so it's been like 2 years.
Well, yeah, because I remember you're like, oh yeah, guys, I'm moving. I'm like, what? When do I see you again? You're like, never.
I know I'm bad like that. I just do stuff.
Hey, that's
But
fine. You're cool. I honestly think that's the word I use. As I told myself before I started this Instagram live, I'm not going to use the word cool because I call everyone cool. I don't know why I use that. It's like I'm some 90s hit. Cool.
cool.
Like it's the only adjective I can think of to describe people that do
What
things
do
that
I
I think
use?
are
I do
awesome.
amazing a lot. I'm like amazing.
Okay, I'm only going to say amazing and you're only going to say cool. And we'll see if that works out.
I think that's the word I use,
amazing.
like, amazing and awesome. Like I actually use that like when I'm even doing like exercises with patients. I'm like, that was amazing. That was awesome.
Oh, I would just say great or good. That's the 1 syllable. The 3 is a lot. That's a lot of commitment. And then what if you start off at the top, right? Because amazing is amazing. So then what if they just do something that's not as amazing and all you say is good and they're like,
no,
oh,
it's always amazing.
It's always amazing. Okay, amazing.
I'm always positively reinforcing regardless of anything.
Yeah, that's fair. You are a pretty positive person like that.
Because I'm like, if I don't, because I don't know, I'm like very like sensitive person. So when I go for treatment, I'm always paying attention to like, then I'm like, oh my God, like what am I doing in my practice? Right. So when somebody comes in, I'm like, what am I saying to them? Right. So yeah, I just like, everyone's amazing. Everyone's great. And I feel like people just get better because I'm saying those 2 words.
But it makes a difference though. And I love that you brought that up because I mean, I'm always getting injured. So I'm always going to physios and I reflect on what I like and what I didn't like about those physios. So I'm like, I will not use that in my practice. I will use that in my practice. So yeah, that's why I keep getting injured. It's just to get better as a physio. That's what I like to think.
So first of all, I didn't know you could do the splits.
Oh
then,
that was I still can't.
I honestly, like, I know you mostly as like a physio, and then like even like when we started physio school, like I didn't realize like a lot of people, like there was you, I feel like oh my gosh, there were a couple other people who had done like, I don't know, like music school or like something that's like not in like most of the people were like doing like kinesiology, right?
Me and Dave had actually done musical theater when we were in grade 8 together. And
wow.
we did the Wizard of Oz and we were sitting in maybe our 3rd anatomy class and we looked at each other because we were, you know, we're always trying to not size people up, but where do I know you from?
Yeah.
And at the same moment, we're like, we did the Wizard of Oz together. And he was the scarecrow. No, I was the scarecrow. He was the lion. And it was just so, and I'm like, you look the same from age 13 to grad school age. But it was just so weird, that whole, and I like to think that being creative kind of makes me fit in at McMaster, but it makes you have a different approach to treatment as well, right?
100%.
And when you assess people, yeah.
Like what did I do? Oh God, what did I do? I'm so old. I did biopsychology, so kind of like neuroscience, and then
I said cool.
Yeah, cool.
I said like that's cool. Damn it.
It was amazing. It was cool.
It was amazing.
But like honestly, I wanted to, like, I think I was just too scared. Like I even like, and I think this is kind of like, you know, I had like gone to India for 5 years and then come back in grade 7, and everyone, it's like those preteen years, and you know, we had drama class and stuff like that. I was just too scared to do anything because I was just like, oh, I'm going to be judged, and like I can't speak like, you know, English as fast as like other people can and all these things. And I think that limited me in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, I didn't get to like try all these things until I was like an adult. Like as an adult, I took adult gymnastics. Very difficult to do.
Yes, difficult at any age. As an adult,
like I'm going into it, like I knew how to do a cartwheel. Like I as you know, as a kid, I could do one-handed cartwheels, and I could just like keep going with cartwheels. It was really cool. But as an adult, to even like tumble and stuff like that is so hard. Your body weight's just all over the place, and then, you know, I don't know, I think we're more kind of like conscious of like people are watching us.
Look away.
Yeah, so I did that. I did like kung fu when I was older. as an adult. I got my first pair of like rollerblades when I was 21.
Rollerblading is really hard. Oh no, maybe do you rollerblade or roller skate?
I did some roller skating when I was a kid. You know, you go to the rink and, you know, whatever, like that kind of thing. But rollerblading is hard.
It's all hard. That's how I hurt my tailbone the second time. I'm like, oh, I thought I had balance. Dear God.
Yeah.
It is not easy. No.
It's not easy. And then I ended up taking, like, I don't know how to swim. I took my first, like, swimming class when I was 20 as well. Show up wearing, like, this, like, scuba diving gear because my mom was like, we're going to get you a bathing suit. But her version of a bathing suit is not, you know, like a regular one. It's like you have to be covered.
Oh my God.
Fully covered because she's an Indian mom. And I show up and everybody thought I was the instructor because I was wearing like the scuba diving suit. And I was so embarrassed. It was just so embarrassing, Robyn. Like
I feel as though, I mean, I love that people think you were the instructor because I think that you probably wore it really well because you came in and you had this confidence like, yeah, I'm wearing this. Why aren't you wearing this outfit? Okay. You guys, you missed the memo. This is how we should be dressing, okay?
Yeah, this is
you
how we
own
should
it.
be dressing.
Yeah.
You dress for success.
Yes. And were you successful at swimming though?
No. No.
All right, so find another dress and move on from there.
Definitely. No, I've had people tell me, they're like, to learn how to swim, they're like, just go into the ocean. Just go for it.
That's terrible advice.
I've
people that don't know how to swim and they just go into the ocean, and then I would freak out if I didn't have knowledge like that. Well, I mean, I know how to swim, but
several people tell me this. They're just like, the best way to learn is you just go for it.
But that people say sink or swim, right? And like, okay, but then I sink and now I'm traumatized and now I don't want to go near the water. Like, let's get better advice to people.
Like,
that's just my thought.
In the ocean, I would just drown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not as though there's that edge in the pool that you can aim for, right? Oh, I'm almost there. I can hold on to that little side. No, no.
Definitely don't take people's advice. I would say research everything thoroughly.
Please, as a graduate from a master's program, we know how to research stuff.
We know how to research.
I never realized it till I'm saying this now. Is that why I research so much? I don't know. I like to think I'm naturally curious. And I don't like to be unprepared, and that's where it comes from. But maybe I can give some credit to that degree. I don't know.
I feel I learned nothing. I think we've talked about this before.
That's fair. I was honestly, because I'm wearing. Okay, you know what? Taking it off. I feel restricted in the sweater. I'm not doing this anymore. Oh God, this complicated.
You're wearing your McMaster sweater?
I was.
Mine are gone. I got rid of them.
Yeah, but I'm a hoarder. I've discussed this many a time. I'm a true hoarder. I couldn't find the t-shirt, but the t-shirt, so this is the sweater. It's a crew neck. I have mixed thoughts on the crew neck, but the back of the shirt says trust the system. And that was our joke because we never knew what was going on. Please, somebody help us.
Yeah, no, I definitely learned. I don't know. And that was me. Like, I don't know. I like also like growing up in India, we just memorized a bunch of stuff and you were graded on how well you memorized stuff. Right. So in school, it was just like I could verbatim, like say everything and get like, you know, like 99%. I was at the top of the class, and McMaster was, let's just say it was very different than that.
I wonder, and I always wonder this, was it just the master's program that's so much harder than an undergrad degree? Because that's the only master's degree I took, right? So that's when I wonder, and then that's when I'm trying to be positive. And I'm like, no, Robyn, that wasn't the case.
No. Yeah. It was like, oh God, those years were really hard. And like, I've mentioned this to you, and like, I think other people know this too. Like, I almost like failed out of the program, and my parents, like, they were just like, it's okay, don't worry about it. And I was like, thank God. Because like,
I actually wonder how many people, I feel as though all of us were at one point about to fail that program. But if you fail 75 people, it really reflects poorly. So I think they had to pick and choose who actually fully fails. Yeah. That's what I'd like to think. So if anyone's in the program now and you're almost failing but not quite, you will graduate.
You will graduate. Yeah.
That is you got this, hang in there.
It will be highly stressful.
Oh, very stressful.
But you will graduate.
You will be learning about depression and mental health as you are slowly losing your mind and realizing you relate to everything on that list.
You know what? That's the one thing we didn't really have. We didn't have any like mental health support in the program, I would say.
No, but we learned about what to do as a physio. But, oh, this is how I can help my patients. How do I help myself?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's so true. And like, I don't know, I think that's just like something like, regardless of, you know, like our physio program, they should just have that in, I don't know, like every undergrad. And I know they have like mental health resources at the university, but I'm like, how well are they accessed? Who's going? There's the stigma about like going, right? If like someone sees me walking into like whatever the mental health resources, like, I don't know, like I would probably not access it.
There is a stigma versus going to get a checkup from a doctor or something, right? And I find, I just appreciate people so much now being so open with their mental health struggles and just, you know what? We're not perfect. Life is hard. It's okay to reach out. It's okay to not be okay. Yeah. And I'm really appreciating that there's a growing awareness. Again, I don't expect someone that doesn't believe in mental health to all of a sudden realize, oh yeah, I guess everyone's struggling. There are some people that might take a little longer to change, but for the most part, I feel as though the more we discuss it in a public forum like this, the more people realize, oh, okay, I'm not alone. It's okay to be sad. It's okay for some days to not go the way I wanted it to go. It's just because, like, part of it, right, with your mental health, you just feel so alone and you don't know who to talk to. And it's a dark road. So start an Instagram live like I did. So at least 3 days a week, you have to pretend to be happy, right? There you go.
Yeah, and you know, like 2 days ago or 3 days ago? Like I just did not feel good. Like I just felt like down, and I was like, for no reason at all. And and like that's okay, right? Like it's like okay to feel that way, but then it's also like okay to know like, okay, other people are going through this, like there's support out there, and like I can talk to someone. Guys, if you need to talk to someone, we're here. Like you can talk to us, right? But like I think some of the things that are happening out there, like I just don't like, okay, like Belle, let's talk. That's one day where we just like everyone like posts and like repost stuff from like hey, where's that money going to? Is that actually beneficial? Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is mental health day, guys, cool, right? Like
I am curious about those days because I think it's not even that, maybe they're making more resources, but resources, that's a word. There we go. They're resources. Anyways, what I find is a lot of people with mental health problems won't reach out or try and find those resources. So that's yes, you could have all the money, but it's just letting people know that it's okay. And actually I have no solutions. I find with mental health, it's not like, okay, go. That being said, some people prefer medication. It really depends on right? So sometimes medication is great, but also they just need to be able to talk to someone and know that what they're going through is valid.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
That being said, sometimes I just don't want to talk to anyone. I'm like, guys, I'm going through a thing. Leave me alone. The world is dead. Go away. And you know what I think is the worst is when people guilt you for feeling bad. And it's like, look at how much better off you are, or how can you feel this way? You're the worst. I'm like, whoa, this is so not healthy, so not helpful. Do not appreciate this.
Or like unsolicited advice. That's like,
I love the unsolicited advice of, here's an article I found. I'm like, oh, cool.
Or like, this will make you feel better. Or like, it's just like, first of all, like mental health stuff, it's like you just feel fatigued and tired and just like you're like exhausted. And then on top of that, it's just like hard to do stuff. And then on top of that, people are being like, oh, did you do this? What are you doing? How are you doing? You want to talk? And you're just like, oh my God, I can't talk. Like I don't want to. So yeah, I think that kind of plays into it where people are just like, no, I don't want to reach out to anybody, because it's just like, that's why it's like easier to, I think, reach out to someone who like you don't know, like a counselor and stuff like that, versus like people you know. Because I have my bias, like when I'm talking to like my mom about stuff, right? Like that's why like you're not supposed to treat your own family and stuff. Yeah,
I think only physios can treat their own family, because I think like dentists can, doctors can. That's my understanding. I could be mistaken though.
As a doctor, you can treat your own.
That's what I thought. I thought if a family member needed medication, you could write a script for them or something. Maybe not fully treat, but that's what I was under the impression. I don't know. If there's any doctors listening, feel free to
Yeah,
comment.
let us know, guys. Let us know. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's I think it's just like, yeah, the Instagram, I don't know. Like, okay, so like I get notifications every week of like how much screen time I'm doing.
Oh no, don't get those. Go away. I
didn't have that on my old phone, but like every year, basically, my brother gets a new phone. Then he's like, "Hey, you want this old phone of mine?" I'm like, "Cool," because I don't know. A phone for me is just like I don't, yeah, like it's just whatever. I don't really care.
That
Like,
sums up your personality. Just like life is life, whatever. I don't. Yeah, you're
yeah,
so chill.
But like, as long as the camera's good, like I'm good with it. Right?
Yeah, for the lives, of course.
I think he had the settings on so that it could like do the screen time, and so I got a notification yesterday. It's like, oh, your screen time went up by 46% in like 1 week. And I was just like, holy cow, what am I doing? And I think it was like, I was on like Instagram quite a bit. And now I'm like, is that why I was feeling weird 2 days ago? Because I was just like looking at other people's stuff. Like, I don't know if there's like a correlation between that, but
I think there has to be. I really do think there has to be, because I know if I spend all day on the screen watching something, you know, oh look, I finished every show on Netflix, or just on Instagram or a social media platform, and I haven't gone outside to breathe with my mask on, but it's fresh air through the mask, but it makes a difference, right? And I find it so hard to disconnect, because I wanna meet people, and I wanna learn so much about everything, and everyone's so free with their time, and that's why I'm like getting obsessed with Clubhouse. That's another story. That's another chat for another forum. But it's just everyone is in the same boat, and everyone's making themselves available more than they would have before. So
I think I have beef with Clubhouse.
Oh, interesting. This calls for.
It's
go
like
ahead.
all these like, okay, I think it's like different.
I'm not sponsored by them yet, so go for it.
No. Okay, so like, before we talk about that, like, what's your reason for being on Clubhouse?
I mean, that is also a great question. And initially, I just did it because a friend of mine is such a cool person. Oh my God. Amazing. I'm sorry. For those of you that just joined, I'm trying not to say the word cool, and I can't. But no, I heard about it, and I wasn't getting into it at all. And then I was reconnecting with people I hadn't spoken to in a while. And then there's people from the States, from all over. There was this senator in Normandy that randomly popped into a chat. And then these actors in LA. I'm like, this is so cool. So I just get hooked into those things of people that I would never have access to, that are just chatting and giving fun advice. And that's what's happening with me. And then or even just random people that I find interesting. You read their bios, I'm like, wow, that is fascinating life. And I think I just find people so compelling. Yeah. And that's part of with acting. When I take on a character, I'm like, this is a fun character. This is an interesting one. And just getting to be those different people. So maybe you know what? Maybe I'm studying. Maybe as I read their bios, I'm like, I will make you a character. Put you in my next sketch. There's a lot, again, but there's so much going on in my head. I can't tell you why I join it a certain day or why I get hooked into it. Like yesterday, the conversation was so supportive, and just people that I would never have met before. And I thought, I don't want to leave, because I just love the energy that's being put out there. So it's like a 10-hour call. I'm like, whew.
What?
10 hours on Clubhouse. That was again, I even went outside for a walk. I came back, they were still going. I'm like, I got to be part of this. This is a thing.
What were they talking about?
Just they kept resetting the room, and it was acting, but then it turned into casting directors coming in, and then it turned into, there was some business people. And the whole premise of, I think the general premise on Clubhouse, the more I chat with people, it's like, okay, first off, know who you are. And for me, that concept is so daunting. Who am I? When you have to describe yourself, and being able to pitch yourself in 30 seconds, that is probably one of the biggest reasons I go on Clubhouse, because every time you have to introduce yourself, I have to figure out what my pitch is. Who am I? And it's just amazing practice, right? Because even with this, we're talking, but we're not talking in 30 seconds. We're getting a sense of who we are. I think. I don't know. I'm not going to judge how I sound on these. But it's more than 30 seconds, right? It's okay. How do I sum up my entire life in 30 seconds? Go.
How do you describe yourself as a person in 30 seconds? And is it like, are you describing who you feel you are, or like what? Because for myself, like, I'm often like, oh, you know, I'm Nav. I'm a pelvic physiotherapist, women's health advocate, and stuff like that. I'm like, there's definitely like more to that, right? Like that's not just like what I do all day long, but like that's like the persona that like people know me for and as, right? And like, yeah, so is it like you're basically the question that you're answering, is it like what you think those like people like how you want to present yourself?
But
Or
yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the question, right? It's am I pitching it so this is what I think they want to hear, or this is who I believe I am? And that is always my debate before I pitch myself. So I don't know. And I think I'm going to keep going into Clubhouse rooms until I figure that out. And so that is what I hope to accomplish from
Because
that.
people judge you really fast, and I don't mean judge in like a bad way, right? But like people like it's like the first thing you say, like that's what's gonna stick with them. Like whatever you say, like the first few seconds, and then after that, it's like, oh, okay, like yeah, whatever, like cool, kind of thing. But like if you say like, hey, I'm Robyn, I'm a physiotherapist, and I also do acting, or if you're like, hey, I'm Robyn, I'm an actor, and I am, you know, like also like I have background in physio. It's very different, two very different things.
Yeah. Well, the other day, this is actually a fascinating person. There was a guy, he was a doctor, an OBGYN, and now he's an actor. And I was joking that he went full method for Grey's Anatomy kind of thing, but like just immerse himself in the world so he could play a doctor on TV. But I just find, again, that's why I think having a creative mind is so helpful in the medical field, because you always have to think on your toes. And again, if everyone approaches it in a textbook fashion, then where do we go from there, right? There's so much, and we're so much more than a textbook. Yeah. And that's why I don't know if you feel this way with physio, but I understand there's an hour assessment, but I just want to figure out when I'm meeting someone for the first time, I want to know everything about you. Because cool, you're coming into me for low back pain, but I need to know, again, like what happened before? What do you do? What did you do growing up? So like there's just so, and again, versus someone, not every physio would do that, but for me, I find I'm able to treat someone so much better when I know their history too. But that's just how I feel.
That's how it should be, honestly. And that's awesome that you feel comfortable doing that. I think like a lot of practitioners, A, don't feel comfortable. B, the patient is like, why the F is she asking me about what I did when I was like 6 years old? Right? Like, or like what I did growing up.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go like, so when you left the womb, how did you feel? Was it breech position? Like, who cares, right?
But like, if somebody had, you know, like a traumatic like thing happen to them at 6, and then I don't know, they have like urinary urgency, frequency, or pelvic pain or something like that. Like and that's like when it kind of like, you know, like started. I think that kind of like plays into it, right? But like,
well, and that's amazing that you brought that up. I used amazing, but it is so. I think that's part of it, because we both studied pelvic floor physiotherapy. So for those of you that don't know, that's the lower region in the woman or man. I've treated men and women, but there is such a connection, such a strong mind-body connection with your pelvic floor. And again, connected to low back pain, connected to potential hip dysfunction. There's so many things that connect with the pelvic floor. And I think that's part of why I started asking more outside of the box questions. As we're discussing, thank you. You're helping me figure out how I develop my practice. This is great. This is purely selfish for me. If anyone else still wants to watch, great. I'm learning about myself.
No, I think that's a big part of it, right? And that's probably why like you're so then drawn to like Clubhouse, because you get to meet like so many different people, right? And get to like know about them, but like in a very short amount of time, probably.
Well, so this was very interesting. There was a woman, I want to say she was a casting director, but she was so open. She goes, I have interstitial cystitis, right? And it's on her bio and it's in her Instagram and everything. And I think I messaged her. I commend her for that. I don't know if I sounded cheesy, but I was just so proud of people being open with pelvic floor issues. Because no one's gonna be like, hey guys, I have stress urinary incontinence, right? No one's gonna just say random things like, yeah guys, I have endometriosis. Not a lot of people open with that, right? So
like, a lot of that can be like just like mental health. It can be like the invisible, you know, like I don't want to say like like it's just like an invisible thing, right? Versus like if someone, I don't know, like they have like an amputation, or you know they have like, you know, like a spinal cord injury, like that's more visible. Like all this stuff is kind of like invisible, and like unless like the fact that she mentioned that is huge. It's being. And again, a lot of people
don't know what that is, and that's totally fair. But for her to identify with that and just be so open about it, I think the more we can talk about these issues that people don't talk about, the better. Because I know for me, when I was learning about the pelvic floor, I thought, okay, I'm in my mid-20s. Why did I not know so much about a part of me that is such a taboo in society?
Yeah.
I was so frustrated with the healthcare system, and I thought, okay. And I know for me, I didn't even realize how many issues I had. I went to see Nellie's awesome. Shout out to Pelvic Health Solutions.
Yeah.
Nellie was the best. I recommend her to everyone because she's so fun, but also she teaches everything, and she's like a co-founder of that whole course. But it's just being so open with who you are, and also knowing, oh, okay, these problems that I didn't really think are issues are actually issues, but they're also treatable. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I know. Yeah. We often, I think, just like live with stuff, and like, yes, it is. Oh, like, cause like as like, I don't know, like as a physio, like it's like we either think it's gonna get better, or we're just like, okay, this is just like how it's supposed to be, kind of thing. Nobody else is mentioning it, and especially like when you're younger and stuff. Like endometriosis takes like 7 to 9 years to get diagnosed, which is ridiculous. Like, holy cow. And I feel like, you know, you're just like, oh, I have like insane cramps, like, you know, when I have my period. I guess that's just how it's supposed to be, right? Because everybody else is just like saying that too. And then
it's like, okay,
like,
here,
actually,
take a pill or something. And you're like, okay, cool, that's fine.
And then someone goes, no, there's treatment for that. And you're like, what? Yeah. So yeah, that's crazy. That like, yeah, but I think it is like, so my thing with Clubhouse is, okay, so usually I'm, you know, like when they talk about like, you know, the early adopters for something, and then like something is introduced, and then the laggards, like, you know, like, you know.
I don't, but I find this very interesting.
Okay, so there's a curve.
Well, so I feel as though I'm usually lagging on the curve. I'm like, I'm not going to care. I'm not into any of this stuff. And then it becomes a thing, and I think, okay, fine. So for me, that was TikTok, and I get, okay, I'll try. I don't know what all you young kids are doing. I'm going to try and be funny. Here you go. And then I give up.
That was me in like Instagram. When did I join? 2015.
Oh yeah, I was a 2014, but like a one post in 2014 and never again until 3-4 years later. Yeah.
So I was definitely a laggard for that. What else? Like Snapchat. I'm not on TikTok, so
do people still use Snapchat? As we're the same age roughly. Okay, I don't even. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that one.
So for Clubhouse, I was like, okay, I'm gonna join because everyone's joining.
I thought I saw you. I thought I follow you. I don't know.
So I did, and I actually emailed them because I was like, I want to delete my account. There's no way to like delete your account. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, it's so weird. And so I was on, like, there's a couple of things. So I think.
See, I was going to ask if you wanted to do a pelvic floor discussion in Clubhouse, but okay, I didn't know you weren't into that. But maybe it'll be like Instagram Lives, and you'll say, you know what, Robyn? Let's do a Clubhouse about the pelvic floor.
Maybe, yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
I just feel like a lot of people on Clubhouse, it's like, okay, I think it's different than like the acting world compared to maybe like healthcare. It's like all these experts are on there. Do you know what I mean? Like people who are actually making a difference, like they're not on Clubhouse.
That, you say that, but sometimes they are. But I know what you're saying. I mean, if someone is, if they're on Clubhouse, if they're making a difference, they're usually just not discussing it. They're just out there making a difference, that kind of thing. But yeah, I like to think they're also making a difference while finding time to give us their time.
Yeah. Or it's just like people are like, because like I was just like looking at like the different rooms and like clubs and stuff like that. Like it's the same thing as like Instagram now. It's like, guys, how do you create your own, how to get more followers? Like that was
that's the thing too. Oh, okay. So here's how the silent rooms where you go in and you click on people. I don't know if anyone else does it the way I do. I genuinely read people's bios because I find them interesting. I wonder if people just go in these silent rooms just to get more people and then leave. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll start doing that. That could be cool. But also, I want to genuinely meet people that I am interested in connecting with.
Yeah.
Because again, I feel that need to connect. But again, it's always that number, right? That I need that following. Because I was talking to someone last week, like, yeah, okay, so this person gets paid X amount of dollars because they have X amount of followers.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? I should grow my following so I can make money? I'm like, but then will I be restricted in what I post? Because I don't know what I post. I don't know what I care to post. And half the time I delete it afterwards because I don't like it. So I don't want someone to tell me what I can and can't post.
Instagram is like that as well. It's like the bots, and you can get all these followers. And then like it is true, like if like somebody has a lot of followers, they're Insta famous, you can make money off of that because now you're like, you know, like basically like a like influencer or whatever. But like I'm starting to get now, and this didn't happen, I don't know if it's because like my profile is public, but like people messaging me being like, hey, you want to be like, you want to like be our brand ambassador for our reusable coffee cups? Like, what is that? Reusable coffee cups?
The brand ambassador, I've gotten way too many of those. I mean, sometimes they personalize it, other times they don't.
And then I go to their page and they have like no followers. I'm like, no, what?
Yeah.
No.
I'm okay. Thank you though. Yeah.
It's crazy. So then and there's like, if you go to what's it called? There's this website called it's basically a website where you can go to, this person is not real.com.
That's amazing. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, so it's like artificial intelligence, AI creating people. Like if you just click through it and you're going to be like, oh my God, this person looks real, but they're not real. It's just like AI generated, like taking, like doing an average about like different people and like just created like a profile, a picture of somebody. And you're like, okay, this person looks so real. They're not real.
This person, so the website is this person is not real?
This person is not real.com.
I'm going to use that. That's fine.
And it's just like, you would look at the picture and you're like, this person's totally real, right? So somebody could literally have a profile on Instagram and have all these pictures, but like that's not a real person.
Technology is fascinating. My hubby's keeping me on track. We're 30 minutes in. Now we got to stay on. I don't know.
We're on track.
Are we on? I just felt like.
But yeah, no, the other thing about Clubhouse is just like,
I always end up talking about Clubhouse. I have an addiction. Is this a safe space to discuss my addiction?
Yeah. But it's like all audio, so like there was no like, I don't know. I think with forums, it's like I would want to be able to like go back and be like, okay, what did these people talk about, right? Like, you know.
Yeah, you can't save anything. It's all. I think that's what it is too, right? I can't listen back. Maybe that's because I have to be there, otherwise I won't know what was said. So that's definitely part of the, I have to be on Clubhouse, so I don't want to miss anything factor.
Yeah. And then it's like, it becomes like this exclusive thing, whereas it's like, okay, well, like, if you talked about something, we should build upon that, right? Are people just talking about the same thing over and over? Like, I don't know.
I think that's why I keep trying to switch to different rooms, because at the end of the day, there's only so much advice you can hear without it becoming repetitive. Oh, cool. Okay. Believe in yourself and know your brand, and all that is the gist of what I'm taking. And, work on your pitch. Cool. Thanks. I will. Okay.
I love that.
Working on your pitch? Oh.
No, you just said like some very key, you're like, believe in yourself, know who you are, work on your pitch. That's huge.
I mean, it is, right? Yeah, I like to guys, these are throwaway helpful tips from me.
That's amazing.
Thanks, yeah.
Have you been doing any acting stuff? Like, how's it going, like, during COVID?
I dabble.
Like, you what? Yeah.
I dabble in the arts.
But like, how is that during COVID? And like, how would they go about that? Like, say, I don't know, like, or like they're doing like now like plays out there. Are they getting ready to do? I don't know. Like, what is happening?
No, it's a fair question. I would say theater for the moment is on the back burner. So I'm doing a lot more film, commercial, television. So how auditions work is they send you the part, they're called sides. So it's a clip from what they want you to read or do.
Yeah.
Or even if it's silent on camera, they just send you, here's a rundown of what we want. So you film yourself on your phone and you send it to your agent, and they send it to the casting director. And then maybe you get chosen. So it's all very remote, but they're just able to see so many more people now.
Right.
So it's super competitive because the people they normally wouldn't see, they can see everyone, right? So normally they would have 20 people come into audition. Well, now they can have 100 tapes coming in. That's fine.
Wow.
And it's better for their client because the client, look at all this diversity you're giving me. Wow, these guys know what they're doing. I'll use you for my next project. So it's very interesting. And I think for me, what's really helped with my mental health is kind of, again, that's part of know who you are. So I used to think, okay, what do they want to see? And no, you know what? Okay, who am I and what can I bring to this role? And now I'm trying to do that, and I put it out there, and if it wasn't right for the role, okay, move on, wait for the next thing. But that was such a hard switch. Personally, because I want to please people, you know, maybe even with physio, right? I'm going to make sure the patient's happy. What do they want versus, okay, this is my knowledge. This is what I can give. If this approach isn't working, then go to another physio. Like not in a bitchy way, just like, this is how I roll. This is like, I want you to be aware, like here, okay, I'm going to videotape you doing your exercises, do your exercises. This is your homework. And I'm going to make sure you understand. And this is my, and again, if someone's like, oh my God, she's such a fast talker and too much energy, I can't deal. That's cool. There's a lot of physios out there. You do you. But it's just so hard to have that confidence, right? And be like, this is who I am versus, oh my God, I can't believe they didn't like me. You're like, people, not everyone likes everyone, right? That's why there's so many people in the world. Find your group.
I want to talk about that a bit more, but I think there's a question.
Oh, there is a question.
Yeah.
Online submissions will be the new normal. Carol, that is a great question. It seems to be the case. That's what everyone's saying on Clubhouse. I apologize. I'm not over like it's so much easier for them because they don't have to pay for the space. That being said, I think for callbacks, they're still doing in person. It depends on the level of project. So I think it really varies depending on the project, depending on the casting director. That's at least my understanding. And this is just someone who's like a non-union actor here. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt, but that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think it's awesome for people auditioning, right? Because if you're not able to like go in person, a specific date, time, whatever it is, you could just like do that, you know, from home. And then if you're like, oh, if you do get casted, then you can make the decision of like, okay, like I have to like, you know, get a car, travel, like do whatever. But like, even if you're,
it makes a difference.
Yeah.
It used to be, I would get maybe 2-3 auditions in a day and it would be all across town and different. So I'm a mom and now I'm an office worker. So, you know, not costumes, but okay, blazer, mom outfit, like a mom shirt. And it's running all over the place, right? So I'm like, okay, that's my whole day is doing this silent on camera, going into the room. Do you like my face audition? Versus here, okay, here you go. Here's what I think the scene is and done. But they can't redirect you. So there's that limitation of, oh, I wish you would have done this, but you didn't do it. So they go on to someone and hopefully they find what they wanted. So it's pros and cons. I just like saving my time and not having to take public transit. So that's.
Oh gosh, I remember you being like, guys, like yesterday I was doing like, you know, like you were just like on the subway all day long, going different places. Like, holy cow. Also, what's a mom shirt?
Oh, that's a great question. I have outfits that I think make me look like a mom. But that's also because I don't know how to dress as a human. So that is, I have my t-shirts, so my athletic t-shirts and my, you know, graphic, whatever, like, oh, Harvard University, that's funny. And then I have my fancy shirts, which I just think make me look like a mom. So that's a mom shirt.
That's what would it be like no, it wouldn't be a collared shirt. Like, what would it be?
Well, I like to do a more of an open neck because then it elongates the face. But but the problem is I'm limited because I have my blue background. So then I have so many blue shirts. So now I have this light pink one, but then I think pink washes my face out. So I got to up my mom game shirt. I don't know. My mom game shirt, my mom shirt game. There we go.
I feel like Winners is a good place to go to for that.
Oh, what about Reitman's? And it can be beautiful. I haven't seen their commercial in a while. I missed that.
You missed that?
No, I did. So there were these two guys. Reitman's. What was it? Oh, what was their thing? It's like, hi, I'm Reitman's or something. I don't know. It was a weird accent. No, it was weird. I'm not doing it justice. I apologize. Is it Reitman's or Reitman's? I don't remember.
It's Reitman's. No.
Okay.
Is it Reitman's? I don't know.
Oh, I know what it was. They would have people. There were actors that would model, and it would be fancy couture, and it would be Reitman's. And so they're like, oh, Reitman's 1, couture 0. That was their commercial. I
gotta look this up after.
It was so funny. I love when it's a clever commercial. And that's what I want to be in, those clever commercials. I was obsessed with one for the longest time and they were recasting it and I had the opportunity to be that person. And I got so excited. I completely overdid it to a point where now I see it online and I get very upset. I'm like, if only I knew how to audition back then.
Can you post this on your Instagram?
No, you can't. I mean, I actually, I'm not sure. I don't think it's good practice. I don't think you should be sharing your auditions with things.
Oh, really?
Also,
Okay.
because honestly, it was probably, this was back in the day when you're in person. I don't even have it. So casting has it. If they want to laugh, they can watch someone really overdo a commercial. Hey.
Right. Okay, if you have the link, just send it to me privately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that one. I can send you some other ones. They're quite terrible.
Yeah.
There's,
no, they're not terrible.
There's one, I actually should have asked him this. I had a casting director on a couple weeks ago, and I have no idea why. I sent 10 takes for one line. I don't know why. I don't know why. Wow. I can't tell you. I felt compelled to. I don't know why. It was so painfully bad. I like to rewatch it and traumatize myself. Like, why did I send that? Dear God. It was pretty bad.
So going back to that, because that's something like before we answered that question that Carol had. So you mentioned that like before you used to be like, okay, what do they want me to do, right? Do you think that's something that, you know, actors are constantly struggling with? Does that affect your mental health? And like, is it like, can it be like a vicious cycle where you're just like, I want to be myself, and then you're like, well, I'm gonna go do this thing that this person wants, but then I want to be myself. How do I be myself through this character? Like, how? Yeah.
I think that's the hardest thing. I think because the more I'm trying to be myself, then it's actually me that's getting rejected, right?
Yeah.
Versus the character that I was trying to portray.
Yeah.
But if I'm not myself, how do I replicate that on set?
Yeah.
You know, because especially if you're doing multiple projects and you're so many different characters, I think it's just so much more genuine when someone is themselves, or at least not, it doesn't have to be 100% hi, this is Robyn doing this, but it's a part of yourself versus going all the way up there and be like, oh my God, hi guys, like I'm this character now, look at me. And just, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to do a character like that. That is, I'm praying for that. Just like this, like crazy, like over the top character, guys. Like, I would really like that. And then just like this. But there's not really a need for me in my character voices right now, unless it's animation. So I'm gonna stick to. That's why I love voiceovers though, because I can be those crazy characters and be like, hey guys, I'm doing voices, and then like I get grandma, and I'm like, oh yeah, like Nav, back in the day, watch out for your, take care of yourself. And then I do all those fun things that I mean, I think they're funny. I haven't booked anything yet for animation, so might not be working for the people listening, but I'm like, these are so funny. What clever choices, Robyn. It's great. It's great.
That's so cool. Oh my God, I said cool. I'm taking on your word now.
That's amazing.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, I feel that, I think, like the more you are yourself, you just have to like then build that inner confidence being like, I'm just gonna go. Cause like some people, okay, so I don't know, like Jennifer Aniston, I feel like anything she does, she kind of like is just like the way she is in it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like she's
yes, I do.
She's
if
like
I see
person.
I don't want to, I'm not, this is not pro or con, but if I see Jennifer Aniston is in a movie, I'm assuming she will be taking her clothes off and having a big reveal. Like she'll be this character that's like, oh, I'm dowdy. No, guys, I actually have an awesome body.
Yeah.
You know, like that's maybe at least 5 movies I've seen her in. And hey, don't get me wrong. Look at you. Good job.
Like,
but it's just, it makes me
always, like there's some actors, their personality is always the same. Right? Like, and they're casted for that, I think, specific reason. And I'm thinking, okay, I think in like real life, they're actually like that. Right? So they're being themselves.
I don't know. Maybe yes and no, because some people, when I like to watch actors being interviewed. So if this crazy character that I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. And then I see them being interviewed and I thought, whoa, you don't have that same energy. And it's so odd.
Like Steve Carell, when he's being like, I think it was like once like on their like the red carpet before, you know, the Oscars or something like that. He was so serious. I was just like, who is this guy? Like, what? But yeah, so maybe it's true. Yeah, but I think like, I wonder if like some people are like just literally, they're like, this is how I am in regular life, and this is like how I am on screen. And this is what you're going to get. Like,
well, and you know what? Okay. I will admit for the longest time, I did not understand Awkwafina. I'm putting it out there. Didn't get it, but I watched her comedy. I watched her show. She's just herself. That is what and I thought, that's awesome. Right. Like this is who I am, and take it or leave it. And I thought, mean, and there is quite a few other people. I just thought of her because I saw her in something recently. But I thought that is amazing to just own it, because that's the daily struggle.
And then but then it also becomes like, are you limited because you're just being yourself all the time, like in terms of like what people are going to give you? And then it's like, okay, but are you trying to like be that person, that character as well? Yeah.
I don't know. Do you put on an act?
I'm not an actor. Like, I've never gone to acting school or any. There's just questions that are coming up.
But honestly, can I ask, do you feel that it's not even an acting, but there's a persona you have to convey when you're assessing patients, treating patients, right? There's the professional, I mean, not that you aren't professional now, but there's professional Nav, right? There's, hello, I'm a physio. Good day. I threw in a bow. I don't bow to people, but I felt the need to do that right now.
It's specific to the person coming in. Like, I can gauge within the first, I don't know, like couple minutes. I'm like, how much? I'm like, can I just be myself right now?
Are you doing virtual only, or how is it working?
No, I'm doing both. But yeah, oh God, virtual is like, I love doing virtual. It's also exhausting. I cannot see the same amount of people that I'm seeing like in person, just because like you have to be on more, and it can like talking more versus, you know, in person, like, okay, like, you know, let's just, like, there's like silence is okay when you're in person versus like if you're doing virtual. I think that's just my experience. So if I was seeing, you know, like 5 people in the clinic, I'd be fine with that. But like 5 people online back to back, it can be exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then like at the end of the call, it's like gently telling the person that I have to transition to a different call, right? Versus in person, it would be like, great, let me
the client's here. Exactly.
Right? Versus, okay, it's like, I gotta go. Bye.
Right, it's that awkward, because I don't want you to feel as though I'm abandoning you, but also someone else is waiting in the waiting room online. I apologize. Maybe you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be so Canadian. Maybe, look, okay, your time's up. Get out of here. But I don't want to do that, because that seems terrible, because they're coming to you because they're hurt. So maybe don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think.
Do you ever go? Do you end up going overtime all the time? Because that was my struggle. When someone would come to me and they could only afford 20 minutes, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna try, but I can't. 20 minutes.
No. So
I hate that.
In person or virtual? Virtual, I never go overtime. There's no way. Like, that person is like waiting for me online, being like, hello, where is she? Whereas in the clinic, like, they're physically there. You know, the front desk staff might be like, okay, she might be a couple minutes late. You know, like, it's okay. Virtually, there's no way I can go overtime. Like, I can't. I literally just tell the person, I'm like, hey, listen, I gotta go. Like, there's somebody waiting for me, and they usually understand. But in person, now we have a like 10 to 15 minute buffer in between clients. So it's like, okay, like if I look at the clock, I'm like, okay, I only need really like 5 minutes to disinfect the whole room. It's fine. Like, I can go overtime, but I still try, like, so I give the appropriate amount of time to people, but like, it's definitely hard when someone comes in and they're like, I can only do 1 session. I only have, you know, like, I don't have any benefits or money. And I'm like, holy cow, I got to fit everything into one. Like, I get that guilt feeling.
But that's the thing, right? And I try and give them as much as I can. And I thought, okay, you know what? If I was a human getting all this information in 1 session, that is so overwhelming.
It is.
But it's also, I want to respect what you're able to afford, but it's all like, it's once. That's the thing. It's not like you come to physio once and you're cured. Much like with anything else, right? And that's the people that say come in once and you're fine. I get very frustrated. I don't know what kind of magic you're doing in your clinic, but that's not a thing.
I have moved towards, like, I don't do that much hands-on anymore, honestly. Like, I just don't. Like, someone's coming in, they're like, oh my gosh, like, I can't move. Yeah, we're gonna do, like, you know, like a lot of manual therapy and stuff like that. But like, someone comes in and like, a lot of people expect when they're going in for, okay, first of all, no one goes in for physio for like fun. You're not going in for like a relaxation massage, right? Like, is someone's
honestly, like, it depends. I've had them all.
Yeah, that hasn't really happened to me.
I had people come and they're like, well, this is normally what the massage therapist does. I'm like, that's cool. I'm a physio. But yeah, exactly.
No. And I'm very like, I'm just like, this is how I work. I'm going to assess you. I'm going to give you exercises, the tools you need to get better at home. We'll keep you on track. Like, we'll see you in, you know, like whatever, like a couple weeks, 3 weeks down the line, that kind of thing. But like, I can't, like, I think I remember working at this one clinic and they're like, you're not doing a lot of visits with these clients. And I was just like, what? And they're like, we want an average of like 6 to 12 visits per patient.
I hate that. Okay, so book all your 6 to 12.
I'll tell you the clinic name after. I don't want to say it.
No, that's fair. We're trying to be very, except for the beginning where I'm like, hey, we went to McMaster Physio. Other than that, we're trying to keep names out of the forums.
But like,
totally fair.
They were literally like, hey, you're only doing like 3 or 4. And I'm like, yeah, because people are getting better. Like, they don't need me. And then I quit after like, I don't know, like a couple months after that. And at the time that was in Oakville and I was moving to Toronto and like downtown anyway.
I used to work there.
What?
I worked in Oakville for a bit as well.
I know you did. I know exactly where you work too.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. Oh yes, we discussed this. Well, where haven't we worked?
But like they were like, oh, are you like quitting because you're like, you know, for a particular reason? I was like, no, it's just because, you know, I'm moving downtown. But in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, because you guys are like being like, do 6 to 12 visits per patient. First of all, if they're coming in and I have nothing to do, I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Like, I can't, like, what are we even gonna like do, like, besides physio? Like, what am I gonna talk about with like my clients for like 6 to 12 sessions? I don't know.
So you have to work. This is why you've got to work on your rant. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah. No. And
just gotta queen of small talk. Okay, literally take the smallest subject. I can discuss the weather for 20 minutes. That is what happens when people keep coming in when they don't think they need it. And I'm just okay. You say, hey, guys, I don't think you need it. I'm going to document this. I think you understand you don't need it. But you keep, you know, people, sometimes I had people that just wanted to come in. That was their social outing. So that's why when this is happening, I hope those people are okay, right? Because it would be, especially those clinics, I haven't worked in those clinics in a while, but they would have the curtain, or it could be more of an open concept kind of clinic. So they would talk to someone in the bed next to them. Well, they would have heat on them, or I don't know. I don't really use the ultrasound machines that much, but they would like it, right? I'm not a machine person. I know you're not much of a machine person either. So it's, I mean, to each their own, and to whatever research they choose to follow, that's fine as well. But there is a component of like, oh, this person's always in this bed at this time, and we're gonna get better together, and oh, we discussed this movie, and let's see if they watched it. So I always found that from a client perspective so fascinating that they would be bonding in a therapeutic setting. I like that.
Yeah, it's true. And like they see other people doing like exercises, and
you're like, hey, you got better at that one, right? It's that support that I thought that's so cool.
You definitely cannot do that with pelvic clients. Like, there's no way.
You don't do that with pelvic floor. That is a private room. That is, hey, you got better at your Kegels. Dear God.
Just for anything.
I mean, I would say that to that is not a thing we do. It is private. Yeah, that would be super weird. Anyway,
that would be so weird. But like, sorry, what was I gonna say? Yeah, no, I think that, I don't know. Yeah, some people definitely do come in, and like this happened to me last year when I was doing virtual, and like one of the places I was working at, it was 3 urologists were referring clients to me. So they were usually old. They were in their 60s, 70s, and 80s when they were coming in. And like when COVID happened, all of a sudden, like, they don't have treatment. So like I was doing a little bit of like on the phone calls with them. And I still remember this. One of my clients, like for 20 minutes, she just wanted to talk about like Netflix stuff. And I always like try to like redirecting it. You know,
to be like, hey, I want you to get your value for your physio.
But that's what she wanted to talk about. And then towards the end, I was like, okay, no, seriously, we have to talk about like the exercises. Like,
can we please get you better?
Yeah. And then she emailed me. She's like, Nav, these are like the list of the shows that we talked about. Next time we can talk about like if you watch them or not. And I was like, exercises.
It's hard, but I find that hard too, right? Because I want to maintain a professional boundary of sorts, but I also want to be someone, especially when it comes to the pelvic floor. It is such a personal space that you're treating someone when they're very vulnerable, and it's so it's I remember when I was getting treatment, I thought, oh my God, this is so bizarre. What is happening? Do I need an adult? You know, it's just a very
so you get to taste how it feels like on the other side. So that's what I was saying before. I'm like, when I go for treatment, I'm so sensitive to like how the interaction is going, because I'm like, what am I doing when I'm, you know, like treating people, it's so weird. It's so weird.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I know for me, I make jokes. Hey, this is super weird, right? Buy me dinner first kind of thing. Like, that's just the jokes I would make.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would gauge the patient, right? Not like, this person looks like they can't take a joke, so let's just be super not me. But
yeah,
it is very, I just found that area so interesting because it's people learning so much about themselves for an area that's so taboo. Actually, I wonder, why did you look into pelvic floor physio?
Why did I get into it? I was just drawn to it as soon as I graduated school. Like, I don't know. I never wanted to do, I know a lot of people in our class were like, oh, let's do sports physio.
Right.
I actually, like, when I went into physio school, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be in the hospital. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I was like, that would be really cool. And then I had a great placement, like, on the oncology, so the cancer ward at Juravinsky Hospital in Hamilton. Jody Steele was my, like, mentor there. She's awesome. And then I had another one, and it was spinal cord rehab. So cool. Like, teaching someone, and actually, like, honestly, like, I don't think I did much teaching. I was actually learning from the patients, like, how to get up from the floor to your wheelchair, like, if you've fallen. Right? Like, these are like essential skills, right? Versus sports physio, I was just like, I don't know. I'm not really into it. And then I think those like 3 physios came into our class, like second year, being like, guys, this is pelvic physio. And there was like a guy there who had taken the pelvic courses too, and he was talking about, I think his name was, I don't know why I remember his name. His name was Jonathan. And he was talking about, he's like, I take the courses, I don't really treat, but like I refer people out. And I was like, maybe that's what I should try. Because I like, after a while, I was like, I don't know. Because I like searched for jobs. It's so hard to get into a hospital job. It's insane in Ontario. Like, you just can't. Like, you have to wait forever for them to even get back to you. And then I was like working at this clinic, just doing, you know, like shoulder stuff, knee stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to take the first course and see how it goes. And I was just like, this is cool. My mom had a hysterectomy at the time. So they like took out everything, and I was just like, okay, maybe I'll just, you know, like do pelvic floor. So I did like there's different levels. So level 1, 2, 3, or something like that within like.
There were, I think there was levels 1 to 6. They've changed them now. Was it 1 to 6, 1 to 5? I don't remember. I took a bunch of numbers.
15 different courses now, I think.
They've really, but also they're really changing with the times, right? So it's transgender, non-binary type of and I thought that, and even just religious factors, cultural practices, that was interesting. And there was one, again, postpartum was always part of the program because that's, everyone just assumes that's the only time you need pelvic floor physio.
Oh God, yeah.
It's not. But it's
not.
Yeah. I can't remember the other ones. Or even working with athletes, I thought that was interesting because I remembered I'd have so many athletes that would strain under the weight and they'd have issues with incontinence. And I thought, this is a cool course.
Have like men's health, they have endometriosis, they have like, so yeah, it's like they have like more like biopsychosocial approach and like not just doing manual therapy and stuff like that, which is cool. But
well, the chronic pain component, right? The chronic pain it's so key. People living with this for years and just trying to wrap their head around it takes time, and let's reframe what's going on in your head. Easier said than done.
Yeah. So for myself, it was like a combination of like, okay, this is something like I know I can help people with. Like, it's more one-on-one. At the time I was working in a clinic where I was seeing like 4 people an hour. And I was just like, oh my God, like I'm just doing the same thing over and over and following post-surgical protocols. So I was like, okay, I want to do something different. I had like my own pelvic stuff going on. And it just felt like good. Like, people come in and they're like, I can't be in a social situation because I have to go pee every 10 minutes. I'm like, whoa, like, let me help you with that. And then their quality of life improves so much, right? Like, I don't know. Like, and like, there is like, yes, if your wrist, when it's hurt, it sucks. Go see a physio, but you can find a physio who does that like anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, versus like pelvic health. So I don't know. It's just, and like the pain component, the mental health component, just that those things like really just resonated with me. And so that's why like on my Instagram, I'm always posting about like, I'm like, it's not just about, you know, like pelvic health, right? But it is definitely combined with your central nervous system, how your brain is, you know, mental health, and like how you feel about yourself. Because when you're in pain for that long, or an issue is going on for that long, like that affects your self-esteem and like all those other things. So that's how I got into, like, I love it. I love it.
But I felt so amazing. when I said that weird, I was just trying to make fun of the amazing word, but I actually did feel it was such a great feeling to instill knowledge in women and men, right?
Yeah.
To instill, like, this is something they hadn't learned, and then they leave and they go, I didn't know this. I learned so much about my body today, that they were just so grateful. And it was so, I mean, it's so funny because after a while, it's so repetitive to me, in a sense of there's so many people with issues and have just been using, they're not sugarcoating it, right? But they're using pads instead of figuring out how to, and again, I'm not trying to downsell incontinence products by any means.
No.
But I think the more you can be aware of how to control your body, the more empowered you'll feel. Right?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I was literally saying this like the other day. I'm like, this is like stuff. It's like you feel like you don't have voluntary control over your body. Like,
it's terrifying.
It's awful. Like, stuff is just like happening. And maybe we can do another like live another day, like about pelvic health and stuff.
We should. I know this didn't. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh, Kev. This may sound strange, but why do you pay for physio and mental health counseling? So Kev isn't actually. Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know what to say. I have no response. That's why we're doing these lives. We're trying to make change, guys. So let's go.
Yeah, I'm not sure like what country you're in. Like, we're in Canada. Like,
aren't you from the UK, Sart? I mean, Kev, I could be totally mistaken. I hope I'm not. I'm really.
Yeah,
I knew this at one point. Okay.
UK, it is like in like definitely like Nordic countries. I've had clients who lived in, Germany, Spain, France, and they're like, this is just covered for us, like for sure for pelvic health. I'm not sure about like, mental health counseling, but like mental health counseling, that's for sure. It should be free. Like, come on. Like, just, like, come on. I know. Mike, like.
Yeah. It's over an hour now. I'm like, thank you, Mike. I apologize.
We're good for a few more minutes. Because I do want to address this, because it's like, and I talk about this, like, physios are in every ward of the hospital, but like not in the labor and delivery ward. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are we not there? And then like, why don't we have like postpartum, like depression is a huge thing. Why don't we have like mental health resources for moms? And that's like beyond that, right? Like, not just like for like pregnancy related stuff, but like mental health resources should be widely accessible and available, and not like, because some of these sessions cost like $250 to $300 for an hour. Like, when I was working downtown
UK is so different. Yeah, it's so, I wish there could be a better system, because I remember learning in France, postpartum, you get 8 weeks of pelvic floor physio free, right?
Yeah.
And here it's, maybe my friend told me I should come here. I don't really know what this is. I thought, why is this not part of the protocol? Why?
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous, because it's helpful, but it's also another person. So you're not alone, right? So it's, okay, I just gave birth. Now it's just me and my baby, and no one's really helping me. I have this child. And even I know for me, I was working on blocked ducts quite a bit when women were breastfeeding. Like, there's so much that physios can do. Yeah. So I mean, it's so funny. Like, we're chatting on this platform as if anyone watching might be able to help us out somehow. But I just think it's good to keep these conversations going, because you never know, right?
Yeah. But for me, and I think you mentioned this previously as well, like, daily what I do, like 80% of what I do is the same thing. Like, somebody's coming in, I'm educating them about the pelvic floor. I'm like, this is what, like, how, like, it usually should be, or like, if you're going through this, like, there are other people out there, and like, this is the pelvic floor, and like, blah, 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 and like all this other stuff. And I'm like, I'm gotten to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm done with this. Like, I honestly don't know how long I can do like one-on-one care for, because it's just like, I'm like, okay, what can I do? So my goal is, because I want to impact as many people as possible, and like maximizing our health and prevention should be primary. And like, yes, if somebody is coming in and they have like a complex case or something like that, that should be treated. That's how our like healthcare system should be set up as, right? Versus like hordes of people just going in for the same thing. So I'm like, okay, if I do talks and give free information, cool. But like, how can I like go through all, this is going to take forever, but like go through all the research, get these guidelines, make them easily accessible, have this algorithm of like, okay, I have pelvic pain, or I have, I don't know, urinary urgency frequency. What's the next step? What should I be doing? Okay, that's what I should be doing. Cool. I'm going to try that, try all these different things. If it's resolved, great. If it hasn't resolved, then go see somebody. right? Like that's how it should be. Like, and I feel like 90%
Mhm.
of the people would get better like that, because I honestly, I'm doing the same thing every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just imparting knowledge that people should have. And
Yeah.
it's, I mean, again, look, I'll do it. It's the job. I would just rather people save their money and this knowledge be publicly available, because prevention is, but then we talk the incontinence, that whole sector is $1 billion industry, right? So you see these
Yes.
commercials on TV. Oh, here, wear a pad. I'm like, oh my God, why are we not discussing pelvic floor? Just here's prevention. And I yell at the TV. It's not healthy, but I
But
just
Robyn,
do. Yeah.
but Robyn, even pelvic floor physiotherapy and mental health counseling is like a huge industry.
I mean, to the extent of the incontinence
No,
versus
no,
pelvic,
but
you
what
know
I
what I
mean is, like, if we're talking about, people get scared, especially professionals. It's like, because you can see, and like I was gonna post something like a rant about this the other day. It's crazy. So many physios now have these courses.
Oh, don't get me started on those courses. Oh my,
We
people, but also people that aren't even physios. Okay, anyways, whatever.
we can do a different live about
We
that,
will.
because
We
that's
will
like,
doing another live because I'm
because
passionate about this.
it's courses that like physios can take to help their clients. They just created this course, which is basically repackaged information, or they have these courses that clients can take, right? And so the goal is, okay, like, well, then you're doing less one-on-one with people. People are getting better, but now there's so many courses out there that people don't even know. And this is like beyond physio. It's like, like health and wellness generally, like just like different things, like for heart health, for mental health, for like different things. It's like, take this 6-week course. It's going to cost you, I don't know, like $250, $300, 500, sometimes it's thousands of dollars. And you can either get like one-on-one with this person, or you can get like, part of a group program, or it's like a digital program that you're doing. But it's like, okay, is this evidence-based? Who did this? Who created this? Where did the information come from? Is this going to make me better? But people are at the point where they're desperate, and so they're signing up for these courses. And I'm like, shouldn't that information be free?
Yeah. And that's the thing, when it turns into more of a business versus let's be a good human being and share this information. There's not you know what? I'm not going to blame one person. I think it's a societal thing of, this should be available. Everyone should know about their body. This is not okay. Oh my God, I'm feeling so like, yeah, guys, let's do this. Like, let's start something.
Seriously,
I'm getting riled up here.
I've been wanting to rant about this for a while, and I'm like, don't do it. Just don't.
No,
don't
I think we should. This should be ranted. We will keep ranting. I don't want to keep you from your patience, but I think,
okay,
again, but honestly, Nav, like, the more we discuss this, right? I've had people that have had trauma, right? There's so much trauma from your childhood, and there's all the shame and abuse, and it's not okay. And you should be able to discuss this and know that there's resources. It's just, it makes me so frustrated.
Yeah. There's this, oh God, I'm not going to mention his name. This guy what was it, like a month ago, he's like in the States, and he started this pelvic impact summit. I don't know if you saw this, like on Facebook or online. And he was basically like, he's like, we've had 5 kids, and he's like, my wife didn't know about pelvic physio. This is the story. And he's like, it makes such a big difference. He's like, so I'm on a mission to help 1,000 pelvic physios in 2021 create a bigger impact, right? And for you to, really like level up your game, help more clients. Yes, yeah. And it's like basically these coaches online. And so he created this thing. Nelly was on it. Kim Bopney was on, like a bunch of people were on it, like the summit. And at the end, he's like, okay, like, guys, I'm going to help you create your own summit. You can create your own courses out there and stuff like that. So now he's charging money for that. And people are getting sucked into it because a lot of healthcare professionals are just so fatigued and exhausted from what they're doing, because we are doing the same thing, like kind of like over and over again. And we're like, okay, how can we make a bigger impact? But this is not the way to go, because you're just like, everyone's going to end up doing the same thing, and it's going to be like no value added.
It's just going to be more, okay, so there's more options and there's more things, and which is the better thing. And it's so frustrating.
It was just like
I'm going to look that up after this.
I'll send it to you. It was just ridiculous, because I was like, this guy has like no pelvic health experience. He's doing women's health, like holding.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's a man discussing women's health. Okay, have you had experience? Have you had a finger up your butt? Okay. Anyways, just Maybe he did. I don't know. Maybe he had erectile dysfunction. Not my business. I'm curious.
It's true. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's just one of the things that's kind of like just been, and that's what I'm seeing on Clubhouse, a lot of like these coaches going on, like, and just that, it's just like, I can't, because it's just like really, like, because I almost got sucked into it.
It's so, I fall for everything. So thank you for warning me, because I am so gullible. Just like, everything sounds great. Let's do it all. I'm like, oh.
And it sounds great, but then it's like, are these people actually helping make a bigger impact? No, it's just like they're more repackaged old information that's floating around online. Like tomorrow I could go online and be like, guys, I have this, I don't know, course that like if you sign up for, it's, I don't know, like $150, and it'll help you, you know, with your pelvic floor, like during pregnancy and postpartum. Like everyone is doing that. Like, I don't know.
Here's what's ridiculous. There was a couple people reached out to me last week, and they had some pelvic floor issues. And I, for the life of me, I send them to the Pelvic Health Solutions website, because that's like, I know they're legit, but I couldn't figure out, there was nothing specific enough that I'm like, here is the protocol. So I think that we're going to create something. I've just decided we will discuss after this. And then, so all of you watching this live, this is the makings of future pelvic floor information being publicly accessible, because enough is enough.
We're taking our power back.
Yes. I did a like a fist thing. That was weird. But yes, we're doing. Okay.
Okay, I have to go. I have clients online. I love you.
Okay. Can you be a physio now? Okay. Thank you for your time. You're amazing. We'll do this again. And thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you everyone who joined in, and we'll be live again.
Of course.